A Hoka shoe with only P-backs and no plates? You heard it right, and that's the Hoka Cielo Road. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video we are reviewing the Hoka Cielo Road. Hoka already has the Cielo X, that's a spike shoe which probably you haven't heard about. Now we have the Cielo Road. Hoka Cielo is for some reason a name that I like, I do enjoy pronouncing and hearing, but that's not the topic. Hoka Cielo Road releasing for $170, 170 euros. Later in July, I believe, or early August. This shoe was sent to us by Running Warehouse, and you have a link to Running Warehouse in the description of this video. If you use it, you don't pay anything extra, we get a little kickback, and it really helps us to grow this channel and meta endurance in general. So, thank you very much if you're using the links in the description. Let's go directly into the specs. I can already tell that it's a very lightweight shoe, and the scale only confirms it. 224 grams in my size, US 11, EU 45. That's less than the Adios 8. It's a bit more than the Nike Strikefly, but in that category of shoes, it's a competitive weight, and you can feel it. You can definitely feel how, lightweight this shoe is. You forget that you have it on your foot once you put it on, and that's also thanks to the upper. The upper is a very thin mesh, ventilated mesh, extra ventilated mesh. It's definitely a shoe that will, allow you to feel any breeze that passes by. It's super lightweight and ventilated. It has a few underlays that you can see here, the blue layers right here in some places. They help having a bit of structure in the forefoot, but definitely not too much, because as you can see, I can move the upper very easily. The fit is excellent on this shoe. It reminds me of the fit of the Hoka Rocket X2, which I rate to this day as the best fit I have experienced on a super shoe. This is very similar, albeit even lighter in terms of upper. The feel that you have on top of your foot is inexistent, non-existent. You don't feel anything. It's very nice from that perspective. The tongue is also, a piece of art in the sense that it's super thin, unstructured, non-padded, yet it allows you to have a very nice lockdown. It allows you to have no lacing pressure on top of your foot, which I was scared a bit about because you don't have any padding at all whatsoever. It's a non-gusseted tongue, so you don't have any gusset. It's a free-flying tongue, but it sits nicely on top of your foot. The heel, you have two bolsters, one on each side of the heel cup. The only drawback that I would find here in the upper is maybe that felt-like material that is right on top of the heel collar. As you can see, it's very flimsy and it already has some wrinkles here on my shoe. So yeah, that's probably the only thing that I could see as a drawback. Excellent fit. The laces are okay, better than on the Mac X, which we reviewed a few days ago on the channel. Let's look at the midsole, and it's very simple. It's PBA all the way from heel to toe, 32 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 28 in the forefoot, 3 millimeters drop. This is not a shoe that will ride as any other shoe in that category. 3 millimeters drop is really lower. It definitely takes you up on your toes, and it's definitely a shoe that is meant to go fast, to push on your toes and to push hard on your toes, but with a caveat, and that's the PBA foam. PBA foam here on this shoe is the same, I would assume, as on the Rocket X2, at least it feels the same, and it's a very nice combination of that low to the ground feeling. Low to the ground, again, with a caveat, because 32 millimeters in the heel isn't that low. It's not a traditional old school flat with that 15, 18, 20 millimeters in the heel. 32, PBA, low to the ground, ground feel, that snappiness coming off from the ground, but you have a bit of that leg saving effect. And for faster intervals on the road or on the track, you will definitely have the best of the two worlds in this shoe. Quite interestingly, I would say, it is not very flexible in the forefoot. It has a bit of flex, it's not too rigid in the forefoot, despite not having a plate, and I would attribute that, let's say, lack of flex in the forefoot to a very thick layer of outsole that really encapsulates the PBA and that really adds snappiness and rigidity in the forefoot, which is a good thing. I was really afraid that this shoe would feel like the Strikefly that has a shank, which is not the case here. So, a mushy ride, something that requires you to work quite hard with your feet, with your lower legs. This is not the case. This is a shoe that requires you to work, but that does a bit of job for you, and that's the Piba foam, but also that snappiness in the forefoot, allowing you really to push nicely and move on to the next stride in a very, very nice way. I have a comparison review that I have in mind as soon as I tried the shoe, and that's against the Adios 8. It's probably one of the hottest battles you can have this year in that segment, but in general also in running shoes. We will have it on the channel for sure, because these two shoes are really driving me crazy. I love the Adios 8, and I was sure this would be like almost my favorite shoe of the year. And then I tried the Hoka Cielo Road, and I was like, these two shoes are just like doing such a good job at almost the same thing, but in a different way. And we will come back to that in the comparison video between the two. How would I use this shoe? Intervals, 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 and again, more intervals. And that's probably one of the drawbacks. I don't see myself using it for tempo workouts, for long runs, for easy runs. I see myself using it on the track for intervals, and that's it. And the $170 Euro price point is a drawback here, because you want to have something versatile for that price point. And this shoe, despite being very, very good, isn't versatile. Let's keep this in mind if you are about to purchase this shoe. Maybe you can do some other stuff. Maybe you have the ability to use it in other ways. I don't see myself doing other stuff than intervals in it. It's quality intervals for sure with a shoe like this one. I don't want to hint too much at the comparison video against the Adidas Adios 8, but there certainly are cheaper shoes in that segment on the market today. So that's a drawback, and just keep it in mind if you're about to purchase this shoe. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna link to a comparison between the Adidas Takumi Sen 8 and the Nike Strixfly, which we did 1.5 years ago on the channel. I think it's relevant in that context. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, and go beyond your limits. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.